Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
Disneyland has the first ever rideable attractions themed to animated Disney characters, which opened in Fantasyland in 1955. Peter Pan's Flight, Snow White's Adventures, and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Today, updated versions of those 3 rides, plus 2 more, Alice in Wonderland and Pinocchio's Daring Journey, are waiting for you in Disneyland.
The fabulous Fantasyland 5, all themed to classic Disney films, all made prior to 1952.
And the Disneyland Fantasyland 5 Challenge is to ride them all in 1 hour. And today we're going to do that while we discuss the history of the rides from yesteryear.
And offer tips on riding them in the original Fantasyland today.
Come on into the parks with us.
Like, subscribe, and stick around.
Disneyland is your land.
Come seek an adventure at your pirates, eh?
Make the jump to light speed.
Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm TC. In 1955, on opening day of Disneyland, the drawbridge to the castle was lowered and crowds of kids ran into Fantasyland for the first time.
Awaiting them was a medieval fair-themed Fantasyland, and for the first time, kids and adults could enjoy rides inspired by their favorite animated Disney characters.
Today, behind those same gates, await 3 of the original rides, now 67 years old and still wonderful and enchanting.
Though they've been refurbished, updated, and changed over the years, perhaps most notably with a complete overhaul of the land in 1983, many elements are still there.
Inside Peter Pan's Flight, you will find elements of the original ride, as well as the Jolly Roger restaurant and a ship that used to be part of Fantasyland.
The ride vehicles for all of these rides are originals that have been impeccably maintained.
3 rides opened with Fantasyland in 1955, and Alice in Wonderland opened around the corner in 1958, with a ceremony hosted by Walt Disney and the voice of Alice herself, Catherine Beaumont.
Pinocchio's Daring Journey was added in 1983 with the land's overhaul, as the look of the land changed from a medieval fair to an authentic Austrian village, matching the castle and fulfilling Walt's original vision for the land.
And the land has not changed very much from that point to today, save to occasionally refresh or refurbish the rides. It's a national treasure, and we think in many ways the heart of Disneyland.
On a recent trip, we completed the Disneyland Mountain Challenge, riding the 4 Disneyland mountains in 1 hour. It's a challenge.
And we thought that riding the fabulous Fantasyland 5 attractions in 1 hour is also a worthy and fun Disneyland challenge. And we had a blast doing it.
Each attraction has a ride time of under 4 minutes at the most, so in your hour you'll spend 18 to 20 minutes of that simply riding the ride, leaving you about 40 minutes to spend in line, so it's not as easy as it may sound.
One thing that's nice about this challenge is all the rides are really close to each other, so you don't have to be running around the park to make this happen.
What's tricky is timing this right so the lines are super short, because if you find Fantasyland at the right moment, you can complete this challenge in as few as 45 minutes. But when it's crowded, it could take you 90 minutes to 2 hours to complete it.
The big factor to consider is probably Peter Pan's Flight. This is the ride with the longest consistent line. It's really almost impossible to find a moment during the day where the standby wait gets under 25 minutes, and it often sits at 40 minutes.
Though we would note the actual wait time is often less than the posted one, and to be fair, a lot of the wait is simply because the ride system has lower capacity. But flying over London and Neverland in a galleon is an experience that just can't be beat.
Alice in Wonderland is the second most popular ride, and it can get wait times of up to a half an hour, but it's not consistently long like Peter Pan's Flight is. The wait times for the ride will fluctuate dramatically throughout the day.
Snow White's Enchanted Wish, having been recently made over, has had fairly long lines as everyone gets a chance to see it, so its line is like the perennial favorite Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, averaging from 10 to 20 minutes.
But like Alice, the lines come and go, and you can find 5-minute waits at the right time.
Pinocchio's Daring Journey has the shortest lines. Maybe it's the least popular, or maybe it has slightly better capacity.
We will tangent for a moment to say this ride needs maintenance, particularly in the lighting department. At the moment, we think all 4 of the other rides are looking good. They're well lit and almost all of the effects are working. Almost.
Pinocchio's Daring Journey, on the other hand, still has fluorescent blacklight tubes instead of new LED lighting, and most of the scenery is barely visible. It's almost impossible to film. It's so dark, and at the moment, the ride really sticks out from the rest as needing refurbishment.
That said, maybe there's a reason why it's almost always a walk-on. But to be honest, it is nice to have rides with no lines somewhere in Disneyland.
The real solution to this challenge is to complete it early in the morning or later in the evening, right after the fireworks spectacular.
You will have competition if you try to rope drop Peter Pan's flight, but it is a good plan. Getting this ride completed within 10 to 15 minutes almost guarantees your path to victory. On most mornings, you could go in any order after rope dropping Peter Pan and be sure to finish in time.
But TC completed the challenge recently, riding Peter Pan last. From 8 to 8:30 in the morning, the lines on every one of these rides, with the exception of Peter Pan, were practically non-existent. So he was able to walk on all of them, rope dropping Alice in Wonderland in a moment of random inspiration.
After Alice in Wonderland, I rode Snow White's Enchanted Wish, then Pinocchio's Daring Journey in 22 minutes, and this left 38 minutes to complete Peter Pan's flight. And though it had a posted wait time of 40 minutes, I was on my way past the second start of the ride and on to glory within a half hour.
Another great time to attempt the Disneyland Fantasyland 5 challenge is in the evening right after the fireworks.
During the fireworks nighttime spectaculars, parts of Fantasyland are closed because some of those fireworks are launched right from the roofs of the castle, which is also the ceilings of many of these rides.
So right after when the land reopens, there's essentially another opportunity to get on Peter Pan's flight with little or no line.
And in general, these attractions have shorter lines in the later evenings.
And they tend to look better too. At night, your eyes are already adjusted to the dimmer artificial light, so you can often see more on the rides, catching more details than you would on a sunny morning.
So we hope you give the Disneyland Fantasy 5 challenge a go and report back and let us know how you did.
We are pretty confident you'll have an amazing time.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Please help us out by liking and subscribing.
And take a moment to check out our Shopify store where we sell high-quality framed art, park photography, and stretched canvas prints. It's a great way to support our channel.
May the light in the firehouse window shine brightly, and may your dreams always come true.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.
Guilty! Thank you all, that is all.